ampon kra ma yeti asese ansa no betumi eba no ni lumba be enum na ne ho atona ma waye free enti na yale e bempote enye egusu kase ena ta ma lumba yale no agese se wa ma besra no amba behwe no na agobroni abre pa wo lumba ho any den poti ne si yenti a mo dwin se odobroni abre e wo lumba wa wo nim be chire what at all then oh yeah I sit down and I look at the chronicle of the stories of Mrs. Akosua Serwaa, the things she has done in the marriage that she contracted with Lumba at a younger age of giving herself the privilege that she's older than Lumba, but decided that I want to tame myself down as a wife for this small boy to lead. Look, if this woman could have come on TikTok to open a page and discuss the marriage between herself and Lumba, I don't think after the death of Lumba, anybody will open their mouth to insult her. If Mrs. Akosua Serwaa did anything to Lumba, and Lumba kept on going on stages and coming to testify about the goodwill of what Mrs. Akosua Serwaa have done to, then Lumba too is a hypocrite. Yakoji ademudio, yakoji bribe, yato Lumba card, this can blame you. Team legal wife for boys can blame na medio, the basically the Ukrainian. Eja, we dey make am be say review na. Ona ni meduma Akosua Serwaa ye wo Germany ana. Eja mesrao, eja unyi ma. Eja demi ka unyi. Eja unyi ma no. Eja oyiri suro so we fa na chi wa ba bi sa se Akosua Serwaa ti German na ni meduma oya na whatever ejuma oya no you are not answering me. Eja you are not answering me. Na wo di meduma oya na ai debi na meduma oya Ghana kwa wa bitu kwa ina na Akosua Serwaa kwa merci. Now ni meduma oya abrapre ina elidu you Ghana market ni na meduma because I know you know Berlin Ghana embassy wo Berlin na edwon say ense get tie me woni ma Akosua Serwaa woni meduma oya woni ni falibai woni die ntia Lumba ni je no
abusuya eye councilor Lutrot enei aside nkomo ede afa ensem bia no social media no so concerning eye da Lumba odobroni na maame eye Akosua Serwaa obeka ise na nse na councilor Lutrot entani nkomo emfa maame Akosua Serwaa eno odobroni issue no ho but enei abusuya wasasane mu ede nkomo ano odre ano ohye ede afa eye omo nsem no ho obeka yi a eye amanfo tadi nkomo wo social media no so se maame Akosua Serwaa ye oba bone na awade awade da Lumba no wanwale no yie kire se won treaty da Lumba yie obaka ya na nse kura busu apanyini Kofi usu aka mimuhe aka mfani panya hwe aka mese da Lumba yie aka meti eye movement e da Lumba yie mu aka me ye Mr. Tupac aka me de da Lumba yie di mama na ye basa odo bi aba bontra no de koma na busu afo kura na o kan se mi wo mu se ai opamu wo kura nka wo pe na kunu a oto ne niam go abonto dwane ne wansi wo biem ne se maame Akosua Serwaa na eye busu apanyini e bo ne sa kutia no na so nam so ye hufuo na onye bema na de da ne nantam na busu wontimi nsi trodo e ma 20 no wontimi anwai kronani anfa baha anya de anta eye ekuru no eso obaka ya sa nkomo ye nkomo amanfo bebre no etadie enkwaka ne tim eye odobrunifo no omonkomo mu die kura ema 17 years bi kura be piem ai ena 17 years ena wonsi ne kunu hoda ena wan treating ne kunu ye waja we kuru na mo bi 17 years ena abusia wontimi mehwe no ono na ne kansa Lutrot ebusa se ayenje bia se maame Akosua Serwaa was that part to that Lumba na se the amount for kase wan hwe ne kunu yi a na nsema manfo kana nsema me Akosua Serwaa de na enye kura enti na wo busa se obi betimi approve video evidence ana audio evidence ya de Lumba 7 producer edi ne yire ho enkomobone e de kira mansan ya na cause the way Ghana for si kanu se Mama Akosua Serwaa jade de Lumba de si ho 17 years abojade de atoso e wa abra no obi anim se de Lumba wanyade 17 years cause every year bia no boshu ene show de wubu bia ne se make the hotel kuma so ba no boshu honom Christmas bia onya kansa root ebusa se nkomo no mo di ni sa na tie de a ene madawru mo adabeleka mo nkyere ye video a e kire se 7 producer na Mama Akosua Serwaa was that bad to that Lumba and then Lumba dim commodify ne yire ho se me yire Akosua Serwaa ene me antra ne ye na oyo ba in fact me yale da ho mu no o reject me epo me but your video hono mo a ene da Lumba enkoma wodi ye edifa ne yire Akosua Serwaa ho no o ma wiase nyina ehunu se ne yire Akosua Serwaa enye nipa bonene then Lumba nkoma odi ye for the first time de fa ne yire ho no o ma wiase nyina ehunu se ne yire Akosua Serwaa enye nipa bonene a ontimi poison ne da but ye ni video bia honom ana wodio bia honom a na da Lumba edim komopone e de fa na yira Akosua Serwaa ho a e kire se wo reject ne po no ama na yibe nipa boni to the sense say Ghana fo binum edi san common empo and just to show so odo broni na je se wo tra da Lumba ho hwe no tete se bi ne to agya na miamia ni kuro ahyehye ne mpabo for 17 years ne sebi ne makura no ne da Lumba wo kura no e de ne beba na allegedly stand to be correct na da Lumba di odo broni mba esie ni nyina efiri se asetra na yire ne tie ene baabia na yire fa no ene de wi a wosi hwe no epagya ne bedru baabi no na da Lumba epeso be yibuni aye e de ama na yire na se da Lumba pa ti mi ko gina baabi ko kan na yire waso mbone de a na chese da Lumba was ungrateful to Mama Akosua Serwaa ene kan se trot se ono de wosi sudua odo broni de he odi nkyire boto ekosoro ebe ka fom se tie anya de se da Lumba e ware ni wo if you said that Lumba she na yire Akosua Serwaa bo se opone ma asem ne bibia no anya de so be wale wo ba bia aka ne hoda that was a botcha eye da Lumba e de she na yire eye Akosua Serwaa so wo pon owo ha ene award ye obetimi awubisi twam ama kire se ne madu so se mpo no nya no ba so be na adwene se okowale oba fufuru bi pa de aka ne ho de sa bose no da Lumba try na koma so adie bia se sa de ne de ombre kibi da ene odi kwa samado enti Mama Akosua Serwaa ye oba ba ko pe ada de Lumba wade no a obi anka no de oka obia baby mama anase side chick ene cancel trot adi nkomo na ne video no sumu no ana team odobroni bi ba so ene obedi nkomo se ade nti na Mama Akosua Serwaa ndi da Lumba achi amfa na magana na ono no abra no na yire tablo kira na obetra Ghana no na yire hu se wa ni na chi ama baba be for ba foforo ha enti na yire ne manyina relocate ye ebetra Ghana enti na ye se eye Mama Akosua Serwaa so edi da Lumba achi edi ne betra Ghana ha na ono mama hu se da Lumba ne Mama Akosua Serwaa issue nipa bibiri no asabi enhye dante ensem na se ne nipa bibiri ni ma de kuro ntia da Lumba ebekaye ewo Ghana ha ne ensem ne ba na se ye kan enipa bebre no hye bubu nua e de agu omasum se asem no ye mpemu nukure enye de entie da Lumba nya obi asem mpredua se waka kire na yire Akosua Serwaa se omya metra Ghana debi da Lumba kan kire na yire Mama Akosua Serwaa da se me yire wadawroma mebu mketem aba betra Ghana debi na nsuma se amanfo di san komo no ena ade na wani na chia metra Ghana ade na wani na chia metra Ghana ade na wani na chia metra Ghana da Lumba ba Ghana se oba be promote no nyum but onu ni tirimu ene na komo mu no na obetra Ghana e wa abra na yire enim we ya ade bebre a esi ye kasa ebi ye de esi obi kura kra na yire sesebio obedi holidays ɛwɔ Ghana nanso ɔno ne tiri mu no Ghana na wɔba no wɔnkɔ biem ɛso wɔnka nkyɛn na yere sɛ wɔnkɔ biem ɛfiri sɛ obi ne na yere atena aburokyire for so many years ɛsisi dan ɛwɔ ha mekan ɔmo wɔ apartment bi ɔmo de bia mema ahan ne adeade ɔmo wɔ farms nneɛma wɔ ha ɔmo yɛ agyapadeɛ ɛyɛ dɛ ɛwɔ ha mekan ɔbaa ne kan sɛ bia nkɔbɛkɔ pension na ɔmo ba no bɛrima no deɛ ha wɔgya ne pension nneɛma no nyina ɔmo sɛ ɔbɛtena ha sɛ yi a afei na yɛ sɛ Christ them young and they shall be yours forever. Afei na mmarima bi akyerɛ sɛ ɔmanya 65 ne adeade kɔ 70 no wɔn de wɔn se nkwadaa no ɔmanya 20 no ne 25 ne 18 fo no wɔn mogya no wɔn wɔn da kyerɛ sɛ wɔn ma owusu mogya ne bɛyɛ fresh ɛyɛ bɛɛ wapɔ so bi a ayɛ yiri bia no nkwadaa no wɔn da wapɔ so ɛyɛ starch tata hɔ nyinaa ne srade no nyinaa etimi naneɛ nti obi agya na yiri hɔ. So be holidays ewa Ghana but na adwene na koma mu no wonko bie obetena ha ababura kwahwibira obetena ha ababuro eye akwahwibira but na yire de onim se o ene me ntra wakakra na se bi me nko pension na impom betena ha kora no a me pension peni ade no ebetimi support niema eye de wa ha me ntena ha na mimpe eye daache kakra mfama memma emfa musisi eye papem bi eye de wo ho ba semesesa memma nyina yeni ha ena nana ya brefo se bimpladuasa atim ye gya na dwuma wo ye ho se okopre daache e bia ma ne ba nana ya brefo ti ya se bi komu ne no woni bibidi oye wokie nenso wo se Ghana ha no fapem na e wo ha e de ma eye emmofra no nye papa enye into okope fapem e de ama ne ba ene wo free ha kwotena US etwi uba na enyo obi so anase bi ote Ghana na ne ho kire no e di se bi obi ono okwo wo ne mma wa abruchire no won se sankora no mfo mu megu ha because of nuclear jaman ya wo ba bebonti because of say bi dare Lumba jaman ya na oba bebonti utie papa ne de no a o se ne yiri nim se oba Ghana oba ba fo oba bebo jaman ntina na yiri ni ja aburiche no otene betena ha all because of say ni kuru before ebobo adwamanti dikama me Akosua Serwaa so sabi enya ne bada achi mu ho emetra da Lumba so because of so ebobo adwamanti atena de Lumba no otre aburiche nya na oboro na adwaman dada wo adwuna ana ni pa no wo kasa no a wo nyino onya akora o utim so obe 70 to 75 nanso so adwuna de ne trimu no amama hunu se empanyifo se sabi enya panyini bi afutuo na yese wututie efiri sesebi kwase so nyini ya won kwara sebi mpradu aso mo ye nkwase ya wo mo anu mu benyina be yesebi mpanyini kwase ya entini be won mo wakasa onim bebre bu free ba AHINTASEM TV subscribe like and share the comments in the family every video no emra.
And on this note, let me appreciate Mrs. Akosua Serwaa for so. And those of you who, I don't want to say you are mocking, but those of you who are making a lot of statements about Papa Shi and his total conviction that Lumba's wife needs judgment, both spiritual judgment clearance and judicial clearance and social clearance, be careful. Because I'll repeat it and repeat it again. Lumba's baby mom, Odo, cannot emphatically, genuinely say that Lumba was bad to her. I don't think Priscilla Oforiata will say Lumba had been bad to her. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. But there have been conversations, statements that people have made alleging that in the time when Lumba was not too fit, they were part of the people supporting Lumba financially to be able to run his home. Which home? Which home? Was it the home Lumba was living with Priscilla Oforiata? Was it the home that Priscilla was in there with the 6 children? Or which of the homes were people supporting? And Kofi said, no, Lumba, money for the fear, no, China, no money in his car, no, one be beaten. It's a seal, Miss Remo. efie ben komo na mudi Lumba ni Odo broni fie nkomo na mudi na chese du pempensuo bi no no krese na Lumba ne nsa enko ne nan nka ne nti ka no dodo na ode hwa no ho yade ana na yade ben di enim dada na yade foforo ne bai se Lumba no nya yade fo bi eni ho a obetumi apru ne sisima wonsia na oba kukuduo ne na bada yonso bema ne ho sebio bema oyale an ho dodo no oba enma bema sa enfa no na yenye ti yale kura ya bema mbinima ya yinu mu presi bebi wo na ye kase na Lumba yale fo ya mo kasa na ma twima no atwe fom sei se no krese na Lumba yale fo na adobroni ehwe na da ben na yale nba was answer na Lumba beda ben kumsuna ne ba na oni odobroni wo ye de twato no amafo na ese wadi 3 years and the video was like circulating ya ba kora ni ti ampa obi di ntumu so onye Lumba ba eno mfa ye ho sa but the ambassador me ka kosi ni say odobroni ni Lumba tin na adwuma be na Lumba eye go gamro fo sike ye nko ntiempa ya ntida se odobroni ye adwuma e wo Kingsway adwuma kuku damani enim se Lumba eye radio station but radio station no come abesi that to be a PM and my say Lumba he was not making profit from the radio station to us. He was rather spending on the radio station. It's a car say light up be club by a woman father near me woman father on no copy can go to a light bill in a sock near my radio station after the death of that Lumba. Yet he said Lumba the fear back now almost see yes you almost see on see you Lumba properties oye na oyanse na odobroni ever seen and by virtue of him brown nyama na Lumba aye mpo amwe friends e japade odobroni ni chefa entumi nkowo musa but a man wa woni de ombenyi omo chefa wo it's another conversation but me ka kosi asem so say odobroni ni Lumba etina one ne wo yenya antiasie bia say na odobroni ye adwuma e wo Kingsway. It did not Broni in court will be termed or will be classified as a housewife. But if Lumba was sick, the way people want us to believe that he was sick and Odo Broni was taking care of him, where was the money coming for them to run this big home? Have you asked? Na Lumba nyesika wa hino lifefi. Na wamu adum wamu adaroma wamu na di omisika koma Lumba e na ode hwe odobroni ni nkwalansie ze Lumba oye ntuni kase so royalties na domtufo eje e de so omade aso ya ade a gamrofo sike obi an be born in 7 da gamrofo asese omama ni sika kase da na empo Lumba anya sika de hwe fie ayem bi so na Akosua Serwaa ni nyine mu no omani Lumba na sebio no njimi yo na ni kunu wa Ghana maka chem say 3 years ago ekoban say Akosua Serwaa Mrs. Fosu Lumba toapa amwa mu say Lumba ewo nkwala bi ewo han Lumba ko no mu di nko san ko mo share ni bo say minimum say member semodie me bon ho mode ba dia minye bi da entia wo da Akosua ayese me ware obi foforo ewo ochi minye bi da me ya bafum kwan awo ba ware de minye bi da iti me serew manye ni yi ena mo ka sa negotiate na Lumba sansan de chi ba UK ena we go mi show I love the assassin no boy. But Bosho this share man Akosua Serwaa for so udi so Lumba and one polinity anko wale. Etina because e busu penyi nya abotre anka wo. Bebi asem na kwa aye ba say enkusi a. One wale no is or share Akosua Serwaa was a meanwhile. But now Lumba, or yet day, or bomb day. Thierry, on ye yalefo. The son says, ye cast a Lumba yalefo, as ye naya yalefo. Yadia protein ben a Lumba. The old time spine injury. This spine injury has been there. Before Odo broni bar seen, na Lumba spine injury. It was there. And ye yadia na sebu ama Lumba ebu. I won't doing that. But no yawo. Or even think very much call ya dear to do a coffee or Lumba by medical records in 2022. Bonuso Koboa. Ampon cram my etias, yes, answer on me a banner in Lumba bedroom. None one atona my way free. And deny a lear bempah and your gusu cassette. And I tell my Lumba yallen, I could just say, well, my son, I'm back by shadow. Now I go Brunia bread power Lumba any day. Then putting a sea into a moon being said, Odo Brunia bread, oh, Lumas. What would you but what at all? Then, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, then. Yes, Lumba, a unit here, or Shaban, or Shabako, slim, and a credit. And a credit. Shut, and you do. And I dear, Papa, she a ye, and Kosiaga, Tiamini guy with you. And any guard in this, Debbie, and any guard in this. And Kosiaga, that's just it. But Nasidin, never went into for. Nasha, Mrs. Akosua Serwaa soon. Nadio, me fariba. The kind of person she is and the kind of person she has become. Monitor. Because naturally speaking, the way they have created hatred for Mrs. Akosua Serwaa, and Ghanaians can follow and hate you. Can I ask? Ghanaians can create a page of hate for you. But look at the chemistry. Mrs. Akosua Serwaa, the aura around the woman, the honesty around the woman. Let me ask you, if Mrs. Akosua Serwaa really did a live feed on TikTok about Lumba, how many of you could have genuinely fallen in love with Lumba? Ghanaians will be size. Ghanaians who don't love people to the end. Ghanaians who don't really appreciate your effort, but they want your downfall. Although I'll forever say you have children, beautiful ones, for Lumba. I agree. But how genuinely can you come and let people know that one worry? Because this thing you have started will not help. It won't. It can't. So whatever Papa she is calling God for, it's in the right direction. No, it is in the right direction. I don't want to go and greet Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. I don't want to go and hug her and take a picture with her before you see that she's doing the right thing or the wrong thing. This woman is right. Even those of us who are not close to Lumba, when he was smallish, when he was up and coming, when he was building his career, we that were not part of Lumba's brand, we that we didn't know how Lumba became Lumba, we talk with passion to defend the undefendable and the defendable. When we put on our cameras, people come and speak. Imagine Mrs. Akosua Serwaa, not a woman, but the wife of Lumba, puts on camera to speak. What will be the outcome for that Lumba? And if that Lumba goes down, where will Odo broni be? Please think through. I might not be making sense, but think through. Mrs. Akosua Serwaa has gone through a lot, not with Lumba, but for Lumba, not as a sister, not as a woman, but as a wife. The challenge of the conversation is not about women. So stop applauding women. Stop clapping for women. And stop insinuating women. I am discussing a wife of Lumba, Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. She's the one I'm talking about. Wife. What she has gone through as a wife is she opens a TikTok page and starts talking. When even Lumba was alive, Lumba would have not had opportunity to see the light of day. Why? Because this woman have really gone through a lot for Lumba. And Lumba knows from his heart. That is why Lumba promised Mrs. Akosua Serwaa that I might be all the things you hate, but I promise you one of the things I will never do is to marry another woman apart from you. And all the women that had something to do with Lumba, all the women that had something to do with Lumba would testify genuinely that Lumba openly told them that me to me wow is son ma Akosua Serwaa. So those of you fighting, they say Lumba is a bad man, is an ungrateful person. No, stop it. Lumba has never shown any form of ingratitude to Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. And what happened after the sudden demise of Lumba is not in the excitement of Lumba. This is why we have to be careful when we are alive. That tomorrow is guaranteed for us. And what we do in the tomorrow is what can cause the future to be stable. When Lumba was doing the passports for the children, he did it because he had a residence in Germany. I will always remind you people that by the laws of the German government, you cannot have a book or a passport for your children that you have gotten out of the country without you referring to a residence that in case the children are deployed to come, you have a place to live. The only way the house in Germany was sustained was Akosua Serwaa Mrs. Have you considered that? Same year, the property in Ghana, all the property they acquired was a joint property between Lumba and Akosua Serwaa. And Akosua Serwaa story is sad. It's very sad. Look, Mrs. Akosua Serwaa story is sad and sadded and sadded. What Mrs. Akosua Serwaa is going through, although broni cannot go through quarter 0.0 and farmer, because she has never been a wife of Lumba. Emphatically, she has never been a wife of Lumba. And because she's never been a wife of Lumba, what the wife of Lumba is suffering, she cannot suffer. And I'm going to spell out some of the suffering of the woman to you. Share the page. Happen. These truths are not normal truths. It might be my truth, but it is the truth. Mrs. Akosua Serwaa, the wife of Lumba, has suffered not in the hands of Lumba, but in this marriage between herself and that Lumba. And do you know why the woman is suffering? Do you know why she has suffered? And do you know why she has constantly been where she is? She knows who a wife is. So she has that understanding that if you marry a small boy who is in the limelight, there are things you need not to do so that you are associated even with him and be disrespected by the followers of this man. If I'm lying, please hear me out. When the picture of Mrs. Akosua Serwaa resurfaced on the internet, how many women who have not attained her age did he insult her? Just to come and pull it in her face that they don't know what is about her, that Lumba will stoop that low to marry such a woman who is not beautiful, an old woman. A group of girls who have not been in marriage for the number of years Mrs. Akosua Serwaa have been in marriage had the guts, the infantry, and the liberty to insult Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. They did. They did. She has never been a social media person. She was not renting any of your apartment on social media because she never wanted to have any form of competition with that Lumba. Even when Lumba was around with her, she was not part of the event going and introducing. Well, maybe you want to explain to me what you call suffering as a wife. You can make a request to come and explain to us, because if you ask me, do I know what is suffering? And mind you, I keep telling you that I'm discussing a wife, not a woman. I don't have the time to discuss the women here. I'm discussing a wife. I'm discussing a wife, and I'm discussing the wife of Lumba. I'm not discussing the baby mama of Lumba. And I am very, very convinced that our discussion on wives will help us understand what it means to be a wife. So I sit down and I look at the chronicle of the stories of Mrs. Akosua Serwaa, the things she has done in the marriage that she contracted with Lumba at a younger age, of giving herself the privilege that she's older than Lumba, but decided that I want to tame myself down as a wife for this small boy to lead. Look, if this woman could have come on TikTok to open a page and discuss the marriage between herself and Lumba, I don't think after the death of Lumba, anybody will open their mouth to insult her. I went to a page mistakenly, and the way they were insulting the wife of Lumba just because of the baby mama, I pray to God that the wrath of the death will not hit some people in this world. I was sitting down and I chanced on the video at a resident of the late Daddy Lumba and the wife in Germany. I don't know if you saw the video. Ever since Lumba died, I have never felt sad to mourn Lumba. Not because I am happy he's gone, no. But there have not been anything tickling and tingling enough to push me to go into mourning state. But I saw that video, and my mourning didn't go for Lumba. It went for Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. The first studio that this woman have established for that Lumba, the size of console, if you are into the music and sound world, the thing that the woman has been able to purchase to develop a studio for Lumba is still in the house. Hey, that a man will leave Germany, come and stay in Ghana. He's not using the equipment the woman has bought. But this woman who is a wife, one family son can, when tutu nyamana fa dina high. Now ye chwe video now, wa wonim console, wonim the friend console. The ye na ye de ye no. Wo hwe de wo ho na ma me ne Charlie. Now, I didn't say, I told you I was a sour fee. But me Jimmy said, I'm not, we don't say anything. I'm not me Jimmy said, Mammy, and Tia say what Lumba bravo, we sans so say Lumba penalty. Now, on peso baby, be there, share Lumba sunti, the Lumba can be out or Jitu Mudina or dear Kofi. On your bow or your yeri. Me share studio no sa, me say, So every morning, this woman will pass in front of this studio she has invested. The record, the tapes are there. What is she going to look? What is she going to use these things for? Especially when none of the children of Lumba have entered into music. This is an asset. The console, that big console, over 32 channels, with studio speak. Lumba woni ya me ya. Because papa we no ko be didi ni nyom sa. Obe didi ni nyom ba. Because afina Lumba ni mu na ko be fa. No adan dan aye ni Jay-Z for the taste bibia ma wo. Ofi Ghana no ko Germany or be bi obetwa ye ni nyama amixi ni nyama. Mami we antumuda wan say ho wan kase Lumba ma ware na nu hunti munya mo mehwe ene na amafo aba mo TikTok obeko studio akwa video na one bemma ti na bemma jaw we bi studio wa ha ma na wa jaw akotina Ghana odi otwe kokko Ghana for mabe. So when I'm saying that Mrs. Akosua Serwaa, she has not suffered as a wife. Because when the news broke out, say Lumba and Odo, there was a meeting between Omubiru. When a bosh any bear mu fee Lumba Lum said, and from swallowing there were yebi, say wa fan the chiako. But Sasha said, Bibi and sit that above from one day account. It was a reassurance. And on Sunday, Chidiba, Germany, Ediba, UK, but to you. It's a figure Namahina, Cosi Yeti Mamina Tem, or Pejapadi, Lumba would you be Pede or ha? Or you, on your Lumba sister. Minimum Crawford, dear Mamia, yes, yiri, or my yebu. Minimum men be a block and that. But almost the estate community, almost the gated community, minimum member to me enter zinc that, minimum member to me to car that, but won't drive it 20-25 cars or baby I want the or baby in free or the man when you saw the man when saw your bar body man won't because or a year. Check. Minimum member be a mobile or baby if they don't mobile no more high than that. It sounds said, fortunately for them, on the two or more in a manner, Peninsula Wale on the two were easily go, were cantonment. And so, by virtue of having a wife who is with such a standard, some husbands are enjoying. But I fear for such wives. If they associate themselves with some people I'm seeing on TikTok, they'll misbehave. They will. They will misbehave. The death of Lumba has now become a sad story for me. Today I was hearing that they say Ch0ping says he's going to put an injunction, or he has put an injunction. It's alleged that he has called off that nobody can do another funeral for Lumba. But I can remember the same way Ch0ping says that or person in the form or be a person you friend or beba. So where is the double standard? What has Akosua Serwaa Mrs. done to people so much that they hate her with passion? What has she done? Hey, on kind of bread. Tama ye wale unyu abema no ni hwe oni we. Ni kama ni ya oni we. Ne yira dawo. Ye tutu mamu aware won. Wankonya sage ya wale nanka ba bi otinu ntumi kosiro bia wo. Hwawo owura community bi ma ye bisa permission ma wo kofie bi. Enye unyu abema fie wo. Yeah, but our living tear. Our living tear. Nanya wale anka wo de. Ina wale anka na wo yere ko ede. Be me ya na boy. Be ma won sanka won nan. Be ma obanyem onu ankasa ye ne krata ko wo kwala wo US. Wo sanye wakọ ne krata ko wo UK. Na onyim last one wakọ ne krata ko wo Canada. Be ma ni mubi. Ana Lumba ono na koza se wako Germany. Lumba na koza se wako Germany. Sende na kayewu. Akosua Serwaa Lumba na dia Akosua Serwaa wako Germany kan kayewu ko yi. Ko ma ye nko. Ba Akosua Serwaa na jiji Lumba tata. E ma ni nya German book. Na ni mkrofo dodo akọ Germany akọ da Akosua Serwaa fie. Na otofie kese dia ageden. Efie ne krata na ye de to fie ne nye Lumba sika ye de to se fie. Yen kan semo nu ye hu. Ba ye kan sem de aso asem so ma mu amu di Mrs. Akosua Serwaa atem. Lumba yini na atem ndwi mieru se awade bi nti na maame ne aye ne ho te se bi asabio wa jimi. Go ntese kokko obi ani mo. Se Mrs. Akosua Serwaa be bie na no akasanka. Enye ne monam boy. And as other broni so kasanka. Then what? Can you come and tell us what Serwaa did to Lumba? I don't know which Serwaa you're talking about. I want to assume that you're talking about Mrs. Akosua Serwaa for soon. Add the respect to it. She's a Mrs. to Lumba. Come and I'll pick you if you make a request. I'll allow moderator to pick you. Tell us what you think Mrs. Akosua Serwaa for soon did to Lumba. We want to hear you. So make a request and come. I'll stop talking for you to tell us what the wife of Lumba did to Lumba. Because if Mrs. Akosua Serwaa did anything to Lumba, and Lumba kept on going on stages and coming to testify about the goodwill of what Mrs. Akosua Serwaa have done to, then Lumba too is a hypocrite. Unfortunately, because she's old, nobody feels for her. But it's a journey. That is why my topic I'm discussing today is there anything a husband can do to satisfy or to fulfill the total needs of a wife? And I know of men who are living in Trasaco, they are living in East Airport, they are living in Cantonment in Laboni, that they've never asked of a price of a block, but they came to meet women who, through any other means they have granted themselves and they are enjoying. So if Akosua Serwaa for Su Mrs. had a first married with a white man and it didn't work and saw a small boy Lumba and came to marry Lumba, what crime has she committed? Yes, she's older than Lumba. It's the biggest error. But at this time, so whatever she was suffering, she deserves it because she was married to a small boy. When you marry small boys, you suffer. But does it give the small boy the right to leave her behind with all this nonsense that is going on? That dogs, cats, bulls, cockroaches, ants, fly, bed bugs, donkeys, monkeys, giraffes, baboons, tortoises, and houseflies will have the liberty to insult Mrs. Akosua Serwaa. It's funny. Lumba could have not died now. Your brother could have stayed, Irene, so he will solve this issue. But Irene, you should be grateful to the wife of Lumba that she has kept quiet till this time. And she's still quiet. She's still quiet. Maybe when she starts speaking, it will not be useful. It will be unnecessary. She's not fighting for property. So those of you talking like, "Ch0ping Odo, or go to kill the same." Now, I don't know. Also, play your party there. So, obey you know APC. No, I do pay or champagne. Although broni oba na Lumba yale. On yale. Oba two ably registered strong man. Dabe na Lumba yale ba. Spine and there were hodana. And tenye yale. Yale ben oba two. Na tama Lumba or yale no ombonyo. Yale ben no to university be won. And I mean repeat you say. Ampon my tia say time on Lumba ye. Sa enyum na oni Lumba ye. Na Lumba ho aton. Men ka se na onyale o. Ampon komo na lady. Onye ma nti bere manana nkwa so. Nana nti bere mama ye tia say. Time ye connecting no ko hu Lumba no yale. But odu baby na Lumba ho beto. Eti na yale e be important. I'm of the Bunya bridge, say compensating for taking care of a sick, bedridden Lumba. Why you come here? Mum come dear Nkoye a year in you come. And yet, and plan any aqualama. Don't allow your conversation to be centered on a woman and a man, or better still, a side chick comparing to a baby mama in association with the wife. It is hurting seeing the investment go down the drain. Right now, what happens to the legacy of Lumba, especially with the musical studio that is established there? That's why I said the last time. Look, if Ch0ping could have taken his time and did a careful planning for the proper demise of Daddy Lumba, he would enjoy as a Ch0ping of a royalty that will not come from gambling, but Lumba's corpse and funeral procedure will pay for a lot of things for the 6 children that have been left behind. Well, you like it, you hate it, you feel bad. But Mrs. Akosua Serwaa is the legally registered wife of Daddy Lumba. Nobody else is. Legally registered wife. Nobody else is. That is why we are where we are today. And I know everybody have their own feelings. Everybody have their own thoughts. Everybody have what they want to say. Nobody can stop you. But just imagine this is your auntie. Me say, Abramu ne nka nokore. Esther mu ne mpe so mbe kasa. Ma ye wo ma ware mmema mu fie na mmema nti. No ma ye di awade nti. Ye wo ma mmema bo mo apere abomu. No ma si fie mienu. Ashawo so no mfa si yo. Kro no mfa si yo, mmema ne ba no. Be me bi wo ho no tie kura bi ase e wo takora de be bi achi baabi. O tie figasi e wo kumase achi baabi. Awade bi obanya won krenti amage abi nti otu abetena nkran. Awade ho faso mmema bi enyi. na se ne asem aba ye be di wa tem e say so ma jimi so de be ma betra yes so ma jimi pa akoze se wade wa jimi e ampa but the jimi ne nye ayiri jimi e Akosua Serwaa jimi enti o te se Lumba ni odo broni awo no na wa ba be bo aboso abe create scene bloggers e wo Lumba fie na wanya dem e na mo hwehwe munya no na ne abie me se Lumba japade no hia emfa nya hwe o hia de akire nyansa se yobre no di or be toilet through papa no tokura o be kire mu se dobre e no di enwa no e that dem enye japade enti na oba o maka kire mu se hwe ye kai na abusua panyin ni da fom pa se no hye ase na ye di na chi no abusua panyin to aso sa pa anka ono anim se Akosua Serwaa ombu na nim ti ada yeah ombu na nim ti o onim abusua panyin nim pa se obetuma solve problem but the okoya ye bi so kire the okoya ye ka kire no the okoya nti ase akonya ye nti oba ye be ka kire se Lumba wali ni na so no am kobi dachi bi wam ye nyina ebe yi ya enti Irene be kan na no wa kire na adwe bi membantam masaya o yaso bi di Lumba tema wo yo ofun sa hwe o kwansa ze unseswa ase mi e se ezemu eba wa no ezeze oka eya o abna eya the course na eya o se ne obi achi that friend papa she voice any dey mocking say agogo mpa ya Akosua Serwaa bibi ba na munye careful Mrs. Akosua Serwaa for so obi a obi anyankopɔ nhira no mbo ho ban obi a baka say tie obi anyam betua ne ka ba to go ase aketua ne ba maka yakoji ademudi o yakoji bribe yato Lumba card ya disika na bremi o team legal wife for boys kana brem na media o de besi bia no krani ba aden ana omo ye dey well abna me say mama sem so be bisa enti obi o bi kan utimi kan na baba bi question so mo ni hwe kan so na me ko question so bam cho wa mura say dey ma kire ma ade na mo amose mi en so camera na e be so nsa ya so anka mo nye bi nka all right let me talk so go ahead and talk. I'm listening.
Hello, good evening.
Evening, sir.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. You know, I have a lot of family members together. Understand? All things being equal, economics is a terrorist barrier. Ghana suffering cannot be compared to Germany suffering. Even the weather, a country that when you even give birth, the government even gives you money. They give the daughter money, they give even the mother money. my sister-in-law had 3 children. Omo man is kasa. It is also free now more can because you say one play let me just say. Let me just say Ghana for most of the house crap for more when this guy. We no more we no more this guy. No more blackmailing Bema. Or the Akoma Bema for Bema for France, I know what is go. Yeah, yes, you Lumba. Or when they pass, I could just say what you want to pass. Even Western Lumba. Western even Lumba. Because only Lumba will cry, only Bema for floor. Only Lumba will not Bema for floor. Becoming all the ground of committee in the face. I said the earlier lady to kind of thing. When the Bema one year about so I bet out. What about on TV on social media on a leader now? When you force you to get you introduce yourself or not bloody level. So we say what about on the one year what can it? Yeah, the chopper comes with remorse, professional remorse. Your attitude should change. The man is doing well, and you say he is apologizing. You are thrown on even on his birthday or to no matter or by. Well, now maybe sometimes the decisions that you take, it comes with responsibility. The wife, may not sustain. The Mendiapa, to the hospital or better. Bema ya invisible is invisible. The customer and the wife to give. But in a state, then the court, if the state, the command is so, their money that you give me body vitals. Now, what the Germany now, your band will get to you, or Bema, or say the Bema, but what is the Bema area, or what's up? We will stay away. In Cabra, I've seen 2 wives before, and no matter the situation, first wife, Oyena said, dear, Bema, you're going to grana, or Yaria, or you may be a Pia, so what that brother Bema was grand, or the SCC Bass. Now, season 2021, yes, Akosua Serwaa, so they said, I don't know. But 2021, 22, 2025. Let us know what 2021 now going. One by what was a way. One by 2025, we are so about. People was any email was starting contacting before we do Ghana, no one is paying what as a minimum. The classmate or Mukona or nobody or the Germany have an she was waiting for the right time to explode or contacting Kofi or person acknowledging and the only wife, especially the music industry. Oh yes, even before she got together, Obi Mukase or no dear. Obi Kase or no dear or buy and or starting from there, even before she got together. I'm telling you. I have friends who have those contacts. The contact of my study said they are organizing them to mess up with it. As I will do Ghana. What I say? Now, side way near us. We are busy. Now what teach me? Now, media make what you my managing decision. Who a producer? Now artist. Lumba or Ch0ping English or a way. The first no more Ghana who say or Ghana schools, Ghana internationally, he say highlight it. You are always with the Qualada, but no one goes to Ghana. Remember, today, or we get to the American passport or more Ghana, or go Christian high. Because of members of Ghana, the way I say this, the way I put it back, you put it in. And some of them do it because of more such man on it. Feeling no one need but we need Cassania here. It's your more kind of the Yami. Now, Bema so I catch you for say me wife no America. Because the memo back row be for play now. So try what you December now no. To me now but me no kasi. My wife or green card so I met na Ghana. Or so to me now na me meet her. Na why eh basa. Na me say Ghana air strike. We charge you they are not living. That you know what we want to we open our ear. This woman stay there because Germany in here. Obagana kwano bentem no ko.
Eja we dey make am be say review na. Una ni madwuma Akosua Serwaa ye wo Germany ada.
Obadozi.
Na Akosua Serwaa na oni madwuma o ye wo Germany ada wa humra si.
Edwuma Akosua Serwaa ye lu go wan show bra. Obetumi. Eja mesrao. Eja unyi ma. Eja de mi kan unyi. Eja unyi ma no. Eja. Oyiri suro so we fa na chi wa ba bi sa se. Akosua Serwaa ti Germany na ni medjuma oya. And whatever ejuma oya no me.
You are not answering me. Eja, you are not answering me. Now what the medjuma oya na I Debbie.
Na medjuma oya Ghana kwa wa bitu kwa ina na Akosua Serwaa kwa.
That's it. Now the medjuma oya it was a get me. Uni Akosua Serwaa. Uni medjuma oya. Uni the falibai. Uni the entia Lumba ni jeno. Enti gun come away di. Yebe somusa we wa dwen kire. Me da ase se wa kire wa dwen. Ye da nya ase se o yiri to aduane aba. Se na be ya obeba na umfa na chi. Nya mi hira. Ye nko ye ni.
Me da ase se u ga ko kire tie.
Me da ase.
So me da ase pa o platform li good ba other people from the block. But who are tolerant to be divergent views, and I'm grateful.
Yes.
Goldberry and Construction Limited for say main country say more 5 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, finished apartment or aye than a ton with a flexible payment terms. Etebusioni Juha, for numbers na a good screen sono 020 70 36 710 na efromo na enomo endi eye ehun kom afetu so se opese o mu si dan no from scratch to finish so betimi aboawo se o wada bi na pese o mo pese o mu renovate so edema so betimi aye den aboawo se enei o asase and I person already started so meet me I then aboa was akwan so say na so o de open building materials so abusuya o mo betimi I then aboa say usi dan and na open drawing plan ultramodern one part so contact o mo na abusuya munye bi emfama o mo no bese no 020 70 36 710 020 70 36 710 abusuya from this here.